Minnesota cities somehow keep ending up on Money Magazine's Best Places to Live list of cities year after year. In fact, some of the cities that I'm going to be touching on in this video have even made it on the list consecutive years in a row. If you don't already know me, I'm Austin.Meimaridis, a licensed real estate professional here in Minnesota who's been helping families relocate here for the past 6 years. Today, my goal is to give you the full crash course, the only video you'll need to watch in terms of deciding which city is going to be the best suburb for you and your family to settle down here in the Twin Cities. Number 10, Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Number 10 might honestly feel low for Eden Prairie, being that it consistently ranks near the top of the list in almost every survey that it's included in. It has made the aforementioned Money Magazine's Best Cities to Live list like 6 times now. Eden Prairie's location is really what makes it special. It's in the southwest corner of the Minneapolis metro, and it's only about 15 minutes from Minneapolis Airport and Mall of America area. So if you find yourself traveling a lot for work, this would be a great city to call home. Eden Prairie is also home to a fantastic mall, and I believe their school district just got ranked 5th best public school system in the entire state of Minnesota. The median home price in Eden Prairie is $487,000, a little bit lower than you might expect, but it's because they have such a wide range of houses. They also have townhouses, which are much more affordable, so that's gonna drag that number down a bit. Number 9 on this list is Golden Valley, Minnesota, and the reason it's number 9, honestly, is just because it's lacking in a couple departments. It doesn't have the most amenities around in terms of shopping, restaurants. They do have some local stuff, but it's nothing compared to the other cities on this list. With Golden Valley, you definitely get what's called a proximity premium. It's only 10 minutes outside of North Loop, Minneapolis, which is like popping, exciting, new area of downtown Minneapolis. It's perfect for the people who want proximity to the city, or maybe they work in the city but don't want to be in the city and hear all the noise. Golden Valley is in super high demand as the median home price is only about $425K, one of actually the more affordable cities on this list. But just be prepared if you're going to buy a home there. It is one of the more competitive markets because of its premium location. City number 8 on this list is one that I grew up in and one that I've actually made another whole video on. I'm going to link that video right here. Maple Grove is probably one of the fastest growing cities if you look at the last 20 years. And it's one of those cities that feels like if you wanted to do every single thing in Maple Grove and never leave, you could do it. It's got everything from high-end shopping, casual shopping, big box stores, boutique stores. It's got affordable townhomes. It's got $1 million homes. It is also home to one of the nicest golf courses in all of Minnesota called Rush Creek Golf Course. It's a very balanced suburb. It's also quite large, and with all the aforementioned things like shopping, eatery, bars, you get a little bit congested. And I would say that's probably the biggest con of Maple Grove. Maple Grove is also home to probably some of the nicest lakes on this entire list. Also probably home to the most walking and biking trails. The Elm Creek Park Reserve is extremely sought after. Median home price is coming in at $398,000, which is actually kind of low, but just like Eden Prairie, it's really dragged down by the fact that they have so many townhome options, which those usually start in like the 200s or 300s. Number 7 is not actually a city. Well, I guess it is a city. It has a city. I mean, it belongs to a city, but it's actually a neighborhood. We're talking about the McAllister-Groveland neighborhood of St. Paul. The Matt Groveland neighborhood, as they call it, is one of those places that's always been in demand. Like it's definitely known for its old and boutique charm. And for that reason, a lot of people have really come back to that style as we're moving away from the modern trends. It's also just in a great location. It's technically St. Paul, but it's nestled just in between the University of St. Thomas and the Mississippi River. It provides like a very out of the city feel. There's like plenty of wildlife, plenty of walking, and it's a really quick shot back to Minneapolis. The Matt Groveland neighborhood is definitely not as affordable as some of the other places I've touched on, with an average price point of $599,000 according to Redfin. But worth noting, again, this is probably the only one that's in the heart of the action inside the Twin Cities. It's also got the highest walkability score at 79% according to niche.com. City number 6 is actually a city I just did a 20-second walking tour of, so feel free to check that out on my page. City number 6 is called Hopkins, Minnesota, and Hopkins is really charming. It's got a real downtown, which I think people really love, a place you can go walk with old historic buildings. It's super walkable, and it used to be kind of old. Never really drew too much attention, but lately it's been seeing a huge boom amongst a ton of different demographics. The downtown area has also seen a big influx of businesses. There's some breweries that are pet friendly. You can sit out on the patio and enjoy a summer day. There is an indoor pickleball court in downtown Hopkins. There's like everything in downtown Hopkins. You can really go have a nice date night or a nice casual day just to, keep yourself entertained. By the way, Hopkins is the cheapest median home price on the list at $357,000, but I don't think it's going to stay that way for very long. Number 5 on this list is one of my favorites. It's called St. Louis Park. St. Louis Park is just 4 miles outside of the aforementioned North Loop, Minneapolis. It's really one of those places where, kind of like Golden Valley, you want the city, you expect small lots, smaller homes, lots of amenities, but it's very walkable. I often compare the streets of St. Louis Park to like kind of Boston. Worth noting, St. Louis Park is the youngest average demographic on our list. It's got an average age for homeowners of 35.9 years old, which is like incredibly low. And it really became that way kind of recently. It used to be a little bit more of a sleepy town, but because it's so close to the city, it's really attracted a ton of working professionals. On top of that, West End, this like perfect night out spot. It's a destination whether you're going on a date, whether you're going on a night out with friends. They have bars, they have rooftops, they have hotels, they have patios. They even have a place called Punch Bowl Social that is basically like a big adult arcade with mini bowling, craft cocktails, and you can host parties there. St. Louis Park is also the only city on our list that has a carbon emission neutrality plan. That's kind of a mouthful, which basically means as a city, they are targeting being a net zero emission city by the year 2040. Because of this factor, the location and the affordability, St. Louis Park might be the most popular places for first-time home buyers on this entire list. The average purchase price in St. Louis Park is $435,000, but again, like Hopkins, one of those cities, I don't expect it to stay that way very long. City number 4 on this list is where I live. It's called Plymouth, Minnesota. And Plymouth should be higher, honestly. It should, but it can't be, and here's why. So Plymouth is home to the best school district in the entire state. It's award-winning across every single metric. In fact, I made a video on Plymouth. It's right here. I'm linking it again. It has the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 best elementary schools in the entire state of Minnesota. So in terms of public education, this is the bar. They are the best. But one thing Plymouth doesn't really have is like a real downtown hub with like lots of shopping. I would say Plymouth is definitely a great city if you're putting an emphasis on having more space, a little more quiet, a little more safe. All these places are generally awesome in those regards because this is a top 10 most popular list. But I will say Plymouth just kind of takes that sacrifice for not having the most amenities. That said, it's very close to Maple Grove, which has all the amenities, so keep that in mind. The average home price in Plymouth is actually just over $600,000, but like some of the other cities, there's townhouses as well. Definitely do pay a school district premium for being in this city. It's also really close to Lake Minnetonka, which I'm going to talk about later in the video, which is probably the most famous lake in the entire state. Only about 15-minute drive from there. I think it goes without saying most of these cities are going to be home to like the major box stores like Target, Home Depot, Lowe's. All of these cities pretty much have that, except the McAllister-Groveland neighborhood. They definitely have more boutique stuff. City number 3 on this list is one that you can really emphasize your Minnesota accent, and it's called Minnetonka. It's home to Lake Minnetonka, which is the most famous, actually a world-renowned lake. Kind of think of like Lake of the Ozarks vibe, like it's this huge lake with all these different bays and marinas. Minnetonka is home to Lake Minnetonka. This is really our first lake city that you can call on this list. So if you're moving to the land of 10,000 lakes to enjoy boating, water sports, just access to the beach, parks that come with that, all that stuff, Minnetonka is a great option. I will say it's on the spendier side with an average price point near $650,000. There are still starter homes in Minnetonka. A starter home in Minnetonka is going to land pretty much between $375 all the way up to $550K. Beyond the lake, you can expect exceptional amenities in Minnetonka, including Ridgedale. Ridgedale is our newest and most major metropolitan mall. Not talking about the Mall of America here. Ridgedale underwent a $100 million reconstruction phase, and it is extremely nice in there. On top of this, you get to say you live in a lake city that's only 18 miles from downtown Minneapolis. That's like a perfect balance of work and play. Moving to number 2 on this list, which is EDINA. EDINA is one of the most premium cities in the entire state of Minnesota. Everyone loves it. It was really kind of like a retail pioneer here in Minnesota, home to America's first indoor shopping mall. They have some of the most incredible high-end shopping, like your Louis Vuittons, your Gucci, your Pottery Barn. All that stuff's going to be found in EDINA. EDINA is also known for its smaller town feel when you get into the neighborhoods. Over the last couple decades, they've really been turned over. In EDINA, you get a plethora of options. a median home price of $615K. You have condos starting at $350K, and then you've got estates in Edina that were like torn down and rebuilt on 7 acres, and those go for like 7 to 10 million. In terms of a starter home, you can typically expect to spend about $500,000 on just a single story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage here in Edina. Last but certainly not least, drum roll please. Number 1 on the list is actually the city that I'm standing in right now. We are in beautiful downtown Wayzata, and Wayzata is definitely like a remarkable city. What's so cool about Wayzata is it's got this amazing downtown, which I'm just now arriving at. They just had about $35 million dumped into revitalizing downtown Wayzata, and with that came a lot of really high-end shopping and restaurants. What's really cool about Wayzata is it actually belongs to the 2 best school districts in the entire state. So depending on where you live in Wayzata, you would either have kids going to Minnetonka School District, which is the 2nd best district in the state, or you'd have your kids going to Wayzata schools, which is the 1st best school district in the state. So you really can't go wrong in terms of family atmosphere. You have to pay a premium. The average home price in Wayzata is $875K. And honestly, I thought that data might be old. That would be extremely affordable, in my opinion, if you could get into Wayzata for under $1 million. But it's one of those places, even if you can get close by living in either St. Louis Park, Plymouth, Minnetonka, you can just come down here and enjoy it, and you don't necessarily have to pay the full price tag. I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. I'm headed back to my car right now. Please leave a comment below if I missed anything. These cities just seem to be the most popular in terms of what my buyers are putting on their home buying search. So I'm definitely not saying this list is concrete. This is just something who, as an agent, I feel like I can definitely attest to, as I have a lot of people telling me their lists. So hopefully you guys found it helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.